Okay, we're starting off where we finished from the last lecture. We managed to bypass a simple filter on our XSS reflected page. But right now, we want to see how we can also exploit the XSS stored on DVWA. So navigate to the stored XSS, and this is the application that we have. It's a comment section. We type in our name and the message, hello world, and we sign the guestbook and it will add it right here on the page. We already know that these comments are getting stored on the server, so anyone loading this page will also see our comment. Same goes with the JavaScript code that we inject. Anyone loading the page will also load our JavaScript code, because we injected it straight into the web page storage. Now let's try on low level to execute our JavaScript. So let's go to DVA security. Let me change it to low and navigate back to the store XSS. Let's try to inject both fields. If I try to continue to type in the name field, it won't allow it. I guess it has some filter of how many characters we can input. So let's just try to go with test right here, and let's inject our JavaScript code or our simple alert function in the message field. If I sign my guestbook, and let me just load this a little bit more so you can see it better, then I click on sign guestbook, well, here it is. On low level, it's really easy to exploit, it has no filters at all, and all we have to do is type in our script tags, alert function, and it will run on the page. Now let's give it a try on the medium security level. If I type submit, go back to the stored XSS, we load our previous alert window because it's stored on the page. And now let's try again. If I type test and a simple alert function between the script tags, well, the window that we just loaded was from the previous low-level security script. If we manage to execute this one, we would get two windows. And just so we can differentiate them, let's run the script alert, and in this window we're going to type in hello, just so it can different from the previous script that's already stored on the page. As you can see, this is not the one that we just ran, it's from the previous attack. The one that says hello is not getting executed. Now, if we take a look down here, it appears that our script tags are getting removed, and also we are getting these backslashes before our single quotes. So it's getting filtered. But let's try to inject inside of the name field. If I type here script alert, and we know that we have the character limitation, but let's just leave it like that for a moment and sign the guestbook. Our script tags appear to be filtered as well. So what are we going to do? Well, let's take a look at the source code of this page. Let's see how it performs the filtering. So this is the code of this page, and we have a part of the code that sanitizes the message input and a part of the code for the name input. Now, by looking at the message input code, I can already see that this is getting filtered a whole lot better than the name input. Why? Well, because it has this HTML special chars function that removes all the HTML characters from our message. But this is not being used on our name. We only have the same filter that we had from the previous video inside of our name input. But we do have another problem. We have character limitation inside the name input. So how are we going to bypass that? Well, we can do something like this. We can type script alert, and we get to the character limitation. So in order to bypass it, we go inspect element. We find this name input inside of our code. It's in this form. Let's open the table, open the body of this table, and it's right here. It's this line that I have selected. And in this line we have max length equals 10. So if I double click on this and change 10 to 100, press enter, now I go back and I can continue typing in this field. Now I can type the entire script statement. And remember, our script tags are getting filtered, so we're just going to bypass it the same way that we bypassed it in the previous lecture by adding capital letter script. And if I click Sign Guestbook now, we'll load the first alert from the low security level. And it doesn't appear that we loaded the second alert. Let's give it a try once again. Of course, we need to increase this to 100. We type uppercase script tags and alert, and let's just differentiate it by typing hello in the brackets. Close the script tags. We can type anything in the message since that is getting filtered well, and we sign the guestbook. Here it is. Here is our alert script getting executed. We get our message hello. So it worked perfectly. Now I want to show you another thing that you can do with XSS or with HTML injection in general. You can inject a link for a file download. For example, for the purposes of this, I'm just going to go back to low so I can inject it in the message field. Go back to stored. Here we load our to XSS, and here I'm going to type test, and to inject a code that will allow the user to download a file from your command, we can type something like this: open a tags href equals, and in between the double quotes we specify the link that will lead to the file that we want the users of this page to download. So for the purposes of this, what we can do is we can, for example, go to this PHP info, copy the path to this file. Let's copy it, go back, and paste that path right here between the brackets. So open a tags href equals this link, and now we want to type space download. Oops, we also have character limitation right here, so we can bypass it the same way that we did previously by finding that in our HTML code and increasing the max length to 100. Now if I type download till the end, it will work, and I close the tags and type the file name. So the file name could be pretty much anything that we want. We can just call it php info.php. We close the a tags at the end, and we sign the guestbook. Let's click on OK. And here it is. We injected a link for file download. If I click on it, it will ask me whether I want to save this file on my PC. So that is also something that you can do with this vulnerable input. Whether you inject an HTML code that will download a file or JavaScript code that will download a file, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the possibilities with this are limitless, especially when you can inject JavaScript code. Okay, awesome. Now that we covered both reflected and stored XSS on the DVWA, let's take a look at the DOM XSS on our multi-day page in the next lecture.